Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to another episode of Empire Jeff TV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, coming to you on a Friday night from Los Angeles, California. Hope everyone's having a good night. Hope everyone had a good week. It's Friday, man. Let's have some fun. Let's talk some Dodger baseball, man. Got some there's rumors going around. Dodgers linked to Tanner Scott. Dodgers reportedly going very strongly after Tanner Scott. Teoscar Hernandez has yet to resign with the Los Angeles Dodgers. That feels like it's going to be imminent. I feel that Teo may sign by the end of this weekend. That's just my assumption. I think there's a good chance that happens. I think that team will be the Dodgers. Now it's all about waiting for a deal to get done. I think that market is starting to kind of dry up. We've talked about Teo maybe overplaying his hand here a little bit. Him and his representatives, maybe that money not really there long term like they thought it would. And according to DMAC at Dodgers Nation, it seems as if it really isn't about the years. It's more or less coming down to Teo doesn't really prefer deferrals and wants a higher AAV. So the Dodgers will probably work something out with that, maybe some type of signing bonus in there. I think the Dodgers would like along the lines of like a 3-year 68 to 70. But I think their ceiling is somewhere between 3-year 72 and 3-year 75. And if Teo's not going to do any deferrals, then things can get a little sticky there, and we'll have to wait that out. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in on a Friday night. You guys got plenty of places to be, and you're here with me, so I appreciate that. But let's talk about the title of the video tonight, and that is that the Dodgers and Teo need each other. They both need each other, and Teo's never kind of had a ride like he did last year. He's had years where he's put up numbers. He's had years where he's hit home runs. He's had years where he's had RBIs. He's had years where he's been an all-star. He's had years where he's played well, played great. But he's never made it out of a wild card round ever in his career until he came to the Dodgers. And his first real playoff opportunity, won a World Series, was a major part in that, became a city icon. He is just absolutely loved at the city of Los Angeles. And I don't see him wanting to give that up over money. I don't see that. Now I'm not saying like the Dodgers only offer 2-year 50 mil and someone offered 3-year 70, 65, 70, something like that. Then I could totally see that, right? But if it's like a few $1 million, I don't see him turning that down to go to Toronto. That's just me. That's just me. I don't see that happening. He's been to Toronto. He played there before. He was never beloved in Toronto like he was with the Dodgers. He is what you call a fan favorite. You've got Shohei, Mookie, Freddie. You've got first ballot Hall of Famers on this team. You had a guy who had a walk-off grand slam in the World Series. And Teo is the guy that's on the minds of every single Dodger fan right now, everywhere. And deservingly so from a standpoint of the year he had last year, as well as, all he did for this team. And I think there's genuine reason to have that outcry to bring him back, now. And but it just goes to my point of why I think that the Dodgers and Teoscar Hernandez absolutely need each other. Because we talked about Teo. We talked about him never really having his moments. He's never been a marquee name like this. Majority of baseball did not know who Teoscar Hernandez was before he was on the Dodgers. And a lot of Dodger fans did not know who Teoscar was until he was on the Dodgers. When I was covering this last winter about them getting him, a lot of people were just like, he's a guy that strikes out a lot. But they never really saw him play. Never saw him in Toronto. Never saw him in Seattle. Never really saw him because he wasn't a household name. But as soon as we got him and he started hitting those home runs, and people got excited when we got him and looked him up and figured of sliding him into that lineup with Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, and all of that, he became a household name and a fan favorite almost immediately. Let me get a noise check in the chat here. Let me sound check here. Let me know how I sound. I don't got my headphones on tonight, so I just want to make sure that I sound all right in here. So let me know how I sound, if I sound normal, because I'm not listening to myself in headphones tonight. Being lucky and all. I had some fun with one of the wires, so just want to. It works, but just want to make sure I sound okay. I don't want to have to throw on the headphones tonight. So let me know how that goes. But outside of that, we're going to talk to why, like I said, the reasons why they need each other here. And one, because the Dodgers are going to Appreciate you, Craig. The Dodgers are going to upset a lot of their fans if they don't bring him back. Now, they've got a ton of equity after winning a World Series. But if you win the World Series, you get Blake Snell, right? You extend Tommy Edman. And if you, on top of that, re-sign Teo and find a way to bring in Tanner Scott, my God, you just hit it out the park again. But I feel like no matter what the Dodgers do, no matter what they do, if they do not re-sign Teoscar Hernandez, there is going to be a large chunk of the fan base that is going to be extremely, extremely upset. And I'd be one of them. If he doesn't come back in general, I'll be upset if he doesn't come back. But having said that, if he doesn't come back over money and the Dodgers, I know, will make a great effort, then I can live with it. I could totally live with it because I trust this team to get it right. And I believe that they will get it right. So Teo has to kind of work with them here too. He can't overplay his hand. He can't be too greedy here. My man BC is always saying he can't be out here trying to get MVP money. He cannot be out here trying to get nowhere near Mookie or Freddie money. I mean, that's insanity. That's insane. He's a role player essentially in baseball. Very good one, an all-star, home run derby winner. He's incredible. But at some point, enough is enough and too much is too enough. Got you guys saying sound check is good. Appreciate you guys. I see a special name in the chat. But appreciate you guys tuning in here. And like I said, we're going to talk some Teoscar Hernandez. We're going to talk some Tanner Scott. We're going to talk some Roki Sasaki. But really just the name on everyone's minds is Teo, right? Until Teo signs, a lot of us thought, myself included, and I still do think that the Juan Soto domino had to fall. He was not going to sign prior to that. I think he thought that the offers would be maybe a little bit more after Soto signed, and maybe the Dodgers knew they wouldn't. Maybe the Dodgers were like, let him go test free agency. Let him go see what's out there. I did on TikTok where I was like, go ahead and go out there, see what's out there, and come home to daddy, aka the Dodgers, right? So I think he's gonna find that the offers may not be that fantastic out there. And maybe no one is offering that fourth year, and maybe that's not a problem. But if you're Teo, you've played in Toronto before. It's cold. It's cold up there. You've played in Toronto before. You really want to go to Toronto or Boston after spending a year in LA? LA in that lineup for some money? Look, the money that Teo will make as a Dodger off the field as a back-to-back champion and go out there and defend his home run derby title. I don't see any way. I don't see any way that he passes that up. And if he does, I'll be shocked. I won't be shocked if the Dodgers don't get Roki. I'll be surprised. I'll be shocked if Teo doesn't come back, because literally everything I've ever heard was like a framework was basically in place. So, and I've been hearing that like for weeks. And I think the framework is there. I think it's just a matter of when he gets the money. So in the Dodgers' eyes, they're probably like, look, we could go to 3 years, 75, maybe. That may be stretching it. But in their minds, like, we can do that with deferrals and a signing bonus. And Teo's probably like, I'm cool on a signing bonus, but I don't want too many deferrals. So I think that's really what's holding it up. D-Mac spoke on that yesterday. He was at the winter meetings. He was talking to people. I hadn't heard that from some people I were talking to, but obviously, D-Mac is incredibly credible, right? You got to go with what he says. But I had heard that pretty much the framework was in place literally for a while. And then it's still pretty much could be. A framework is there's a general understanding of what the years and the money will be. Now it's just a matter of going back and forth on the deferrals, a signing bonus, and things like that. The total money is maybe the same as what that framework was. Now it's pretty much just about, okay, when is he getting that money? How soon? How much? When? And from that standpoint. So I think that's really what's ironing out. I felt like this might have been done today. Everything was building up to kind of like a Friday announcement. I don't believe we'll get one tonight at 9:45 West Coast time, currently coming up on, but maybe we do. But I was a little surprised that we weren't getting one. We weren't getting one today, because I really thought that they were going to try to wrap this up. And so far, they have it. And like I said, it could be just haggling over a couple of things here, deferrals, and then, going from there. The Dodgers are also working other things. It's not like they're sitting up here every single hour of the day, every single minute of the day, just working on Teo. Like they are heavily, I'm gonna say it again, heavily, say it with me, chat, heavily going after Tanner Scott. And to be honest, I got a little bit more excited about their chances of getting him when I saw what the Yankees gave up for Devin Williams. And the reason I say that is to say this is the Dodgers could have easily topped that deal. Easily. They got a second baseman in the deal. Gavin Lux is a second baseman, right? The Dodgers could have topped that deal if they chose to empty the clip a little bit there. They chose not to. So to me, that says that they're locked in and glued on going after a free agent versus trading their talent now to add to this roster, which I prefer that approach. I've always said, get your guys with the money during free agency. And then if something happens, things fall apart, guys get hurt, chemistry issue, whatever, then you use your prospects to go get someone else, or you move those guys that are a problem. So from that standpoint, I've always loved that approach, always. So the fact that they did not pull the trigger on Devin Williams, who was moved today, went out to the Yankees. The airbender is in the BX in the Bronx. That leads me to believe that they feel they have a strong chance to get Tanner Scott. The Dodgers aren't a team that loves to get into bidding wars. We know this. Tanner Scott may end up in one, but at this point, the Yankees are out, right? The Padres aren't bringing him back. The Mets aren't going to do it. So, well, at least I don't think so. So when it comes to if he wants to play for something, I mean, Philly, maybe. I mean, if it comes down to it, like, who's really out there that's like, where's that competition going to come from? And I heard early on that he was looking for a 4-year, $60 million deal. I think he might get a little bit more than that. I think he may get in the $16 million a year category, 16 to 16.5. And for a guy, 30 years old, just flat out elite, and he's a lefty, and he gives Shohei fits. If anything, you get him just so Shohei doesn't have to face him anymore. But outside of that, you may have to face a Juan Soto. You may have to face Lindor. You may have to face a Bryce Harper. You go out and get that nasty lefty. And here's the best part about him. The best part about him is he's just as great against righties. He's just as great against righties. And we also know that the Dodgers really tried to trade for him. They looked in at him really heavily at the trade deadline before they went in on Flaherty and their other guys. They were so kind of going after him so much that the Padres kind of just got desperate and overpaid to get him. They did not want him to go to the Dodgers, and they wanted him to face Shohei. And Padres ended up getting him, but the Dodgers and the Yankees both were pretty heavy on him. And now with the Yankees getting Devin Williams, that puts the Dodgers in a pretty solid position to go after and maybe even secure Tanner Scott. So appreciate y'all tuning in here on a Friday night. This is Empire Jeff TV. I am Empire Jeff. Make sure to drop a like on the channel if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Got about 50 people in the building right now on YouTube. Only 10 likes on the video. Come on, guys. Help your boy out. Drop a like on the video. If you're on your mobile phone, tap the back button, hit the thumbs up. You can come back to the chat. If you're on the computer, just tap that thumbs up, hit the like button. And shout out to everyone over on Twitter X. Make sure to like the post, repost the post, and put it out there. Also on YouTube, share this to your socials. Help spread the gospel of Empire Jeff TV, man, for basketball, for baseball. Help this community grow. You can also become a member here for less than the cost of lunch. You could become a member for an entire month. We got 3 different levels of membership, member-only videos, member-only live streams. We'll have some giveaways. Great way to help support the channel. It's like doing 1 super chat a month. When you become a member, you can tap the join button, or the first link in the description is how you can become a member. Shout out to Search for giving away about 15 memberships in the last couple episodes. So appreciate y'all. Got more. Filmed some content today. Just haven't updated it yet for the members only here. So let me see here. I'm telling you, I had a feeling that that this was going to come down tonight. So I keep checking Twitter here because I had I don't know, just some some belief that this was going to come down tonight. So again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Also, real quick before we get into your chats here, with the holidays coming up, birthdays for yourself, whatever it may be, make sure to get your MLB, NBA, and NFL gear and more. Make sure to use our link to get special discounts, and your purchase also helps support the channel. We partnered with the good people at excuse me. We partnered with the good people at Fanatics, and when you order through them, with our link, they take care of us because you ordered through us. Great way to help support the channel. You're entitled to some pretty good discounts there, and your order experience does not change. The only difference is you order through our link, and help support the channel. So I appreciate you guys as always. So let's check who's in the building here tonight. Chris, the art director. What's going on, Chris? Appreciate you, brother. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're having a good night. Man, we're getting closer to Dodger season, man. We're getting closer and closer. BC, what's up, man? He says, go Dodgers. Absolutely, absolutely. Daniel Berry, what's going on, Daniel Berry? Happy Friday to you. Make sure to go subscribe to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. He's got a channel as well, man. Miguel, what's going on, Miguel? So let's go Dodger. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Nando, what's going on, Nando? Dodgers save so much money with their deferrals and money saved for Ohtani. Why are they being cheapskates with Teo? I wouldn't really call it being cheap, Nando. I think it's just the way they go about business. And maybe the deal does get done without the deferrals, right? But I think it's like this, right? It's when you look at it, the Yankees wouldn't give Soto a sweep because they never gave one to Judge or Jeter. They had to get their own. So it could partially be that the Dodgers aren't going to go that route with Teo because they had all the other stars take deferrals. And it could just be as simple as that. Like, look, this is our business plan. This is what we do. Our superstars did it. It's part of the buy-in. This is the kind of guys we want, are guys that are going to take that sacrifice and make that commitment. Look, I want players to get all the money they should when they should. But at the end of the day, playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers is not a right. It's a privilege. And playing for a World Series contender, perennial World Series contender, is a privilege. And with that, when you're adding all these pieces and looking to add even more pieces like a Tanner Scott, these things have to happen. So it's not them being cheap. It's them running a business and them doing it within the realms that they're comfortable with, to where they can continue to get talent without having to pay so much tax on the back end of that. What's going on, Craig? Appreciate you. What's going on, Randy Scott? Appreciate you. What's going on, Dale Golder? Appreciate you. Michael, all good in the hood. Appreciate you. That's what I was doing, the sound check, right? Yo, love your show. Shout out to you, Pablo. Love that you love the show. Love that you're here. Thank you guys for spending your time up here with us, man. Appreciate you as always. What up, Dodger family? What's going on, IB? What's going on, IB? Appreciate you, man. We need Teo. We do need Teo. I think we will get Teo. And like I said, we need Teo. Teo needs us. I think this is a partnership that is made in baseball heaven. It worked out perfect last year. I think there's no sense why it wouldn't be great this coming year. But when you're talking about Teo, you have to realize he's 32 years old. 32-year-old power hitter. Power hitters don't age too great in this game. They don't. And him being 32 without an elite glove, he was one of the worst left fielders in baseball last year. A lot of people just don't mind that up because he was so good offensively. But he's not to the point offensively where it completely covers up his defense. His defense is still problematic. That's why they're going to move him to right field where he's more comfortable. But having said that, you got a guy who's going to age out. If you give him a 3-year deal, by that third year, things could be problematic, right? Power guys tend to fall off around that age. And I don't think there's anything in Teo that makes me believe he's going to become a 300, 310 hitter when the bombs start coming and just turn into an incredible fielder. I don't think that's going to happen. So at the end of the day, he's going to have to realize that. And I think a lot of these other teams are realizing that. Like, look, we're not going to give you 25 to 27 million a year just to be the bat. Some of those teams could use him as a DH. Maybe some can't. But the power guys, man, at that age, they don't always work out for long-term deals. So Teo knows that, his representation knows that, the Dodgers know that, and I think the other teams know that. And I think that's kind of where they're at right now. I think in a perfect world, the Dodgers would love like a 2-year deal. I think they would pay more on a 2-year deal. Or if the Dodgers do a 3-year deal, I think they should front load it to make sure that the bulk of the money is paid when you're getting the bulk of the production. And maybe at the back end of it, when his production falls off, then so does his salary. And maybe you can move him at some point, right? Look at that. Look at the Chris Taylor contract. At the time, it was not bad from a perspective of what he had done, what he had contributed. And yes, in a lot of ways, he got paid for what he had already done. But there were times he wasn't making the money he probably should have. The Dodgers took care of him. CT3 did a lot for this organization, did a lot for this franchise, and I like that they just did not throw him away. I know there's a lot of fans. I know BC doesn't like CT3, but at the end of the day, I respect what he's done for this organization, what he's done for this team, and at the end of the day, I say that a lot, don't I? I got to try to get that out of my vocabulary. They really stood by him and took care of, and other players see that. Other players see that. Agents see that, and they take care of their own. And CT3 is one of our own, and it's not a great contract now. It's one more year. I've kicked around ideas and then moving him in a salary dump. I'm like, would they do that? I don't know. But they might be able to trade him to get someone else, and maybe that team buys him out, releases him, and they bring him back or something. I don't know. But CT3 has served his time with the Dodgers. He's done well he's done well by us. And I salute Chris Taylor for all he's done. But at the end of the day, it's probably going to be a situation where they might have to make that difficult decision. But they took care of him. They paid him. And just like with Jay, I remember the conversation when they let him go, and everybody, there was a lot of people that were happy because of his production, but then there were people disappointed because of the locker room presence, right? The chemistry. That's Freddie's guy, and yada, 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 right? But I remember seeing, like, guys, they gave him like $8 or $9 million. They brought him back, right, the year before as a non-guarantee. They kept him. They loved him. They brought him back. They gave him a hefty raise. They paid him $9 million. They took care of him. They took care of Freddie's boy. So at the end of that situation, they went separate ways, but the Dodgers took care of him. They took care of him. And they've done that with CT3 as well. So no matter what happens this season with him, they've done their job as far as taking care of him. Let's see where we let off here. Teo was good for the team, but the Dodgers will need to eventually force the issue. If he doesn't sign, go get Suzuki. I don't know where the force the issue line is, though. I don't believe he's close to signing anywhere else, and I believe that he would give them the absolute last shot. I believe that to be the case. If the Dodgers feel like they're coming up on that last shot, maybe they pivot, or maybe they just give it one more run at it. I don't know yet. I think there is a line in the sand on the number that they don't want to go above, and we'll see where that's at. But what seems to be the situation right now is the deferrals. Maybe Teo bends a little bit there, and they get it done. Pablo says deferrals are retirement, and he should take it. I'm with it. Like I'm saying, it says facts. My thing is this, right? Like, and this is what I've been saying, is it's a privilege to play for this team. It really is, because they're building something special. There's plenty of guys who would want to play here if Teo wants to go chase his bag. He did it. He helped us win. And if he wants to get paid, he has every right to do it. But the Dodgers also have the right to build this team as they see fit. And I don't think anyone's wrong here. I really don't. I think, all things considered, both parties want to make this work. I think Teo wants to be back, and I know the Dodgers want him back. And I know Teo wants to be back. But it's a business. Teo's got a family. This is his probably last chance at a significant deal. He wants to get it right. And the Dodgers also know that he's probably not going to age out well, and they want to make sure they're good. And that's all this really is right now. I still expect him to be back. I believe he will be back. What's the number? How much is deferred? So how much and how soon does he get the money? It's pretty much what it's going down right now. What's going on, Ozzy? What do you think about people saying the swing and miss, and overall as Teo ages, this can decrease his output very fast? Well, yeah. So because of all the swing and miss, like I said, he's not going to wake up one day at 34 and just be a contact hitter and be a guy that's going to hit 300 or put a ball in play all the time. He has that swing and miss, and that's why I'm saying you got to be careful. I would love for that deal to be front loaded. And so, like I said, when the production goes down, maybe so does the salary, but you may be able to move him to an American League as a DH, like, because it's only a 3-year deal. If that's what it ends up being, then at that point, you may be able to move him, after a year or two, just to not risk that, and maybe get him in the American League as a DH. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But like I said, they have to be very careful in how they structure this deal, because the Dodgers have to do what's best for them. We know this. And Teo, I got no problem doing what's best, having him doing what's best for him either. So Nando says Dodgers easily could have given up Goslin and some minor league bum for Williams. Yeah, Goslin, Lux. The Dodgers are pretty much doing everything. I mean, the way it looks right now, this is just, the way it looks right now. The Dodgers don't appear to be looking to trade Gavin Lux. They don't appear to be. And with the numbers he put up in the second half, especially July, man. Oh my God, that WRC plus in July was next level. It was like 160. In July was just nuts. That's like top 10 player in baseball numbers. You get him seeing how he starts this season, a full season healthy, a full off season healthy. We'll see. But I don't believe the Dodgers have given up on him. And I do know that the other teams around the league still have interest in him. So they have a chip to play there if they choose to. I don't think they're in a rush to do it. Mookie's committed to shortstop. Seems like that's where he wants to be. Lux is going to be your second baseman. Muncy's going to be your third baseman. And if they're not trading Lux, you're not moving Muncy to second. You're probably not making that Arenado deal because there's really nowhere to put him. So, which is fine. I'm not campaigning for that Arenado deal. A lot of people were coming at me over that. I was saying, I think this is how it would get done if that's what they were doing. I'm not campaigning for that deal. I don't think they should do it, at least not right now. But my train of thought is if you can get Arenado for CT3 and St. Louis pay the difference in that salary, even if he's coming off the bench, I wouldn't hate that. But having said that, I still want to keep Muncy. And again, that locker room, that clubhouse is so important. It's so important. And Gavin Lux is part of that. His teammates love him. And I think people forget his contributions and the things that he did this year, including that fly ball to tie the game in Game 5. Like, he did some things in these playoffs, and especially in that second half, that helped us win those games to help us end up with the best record in baseball. And a lot of these guys contributed in ways that helped towards everything. Even the guy who drove me nuts, who I don't even care if they don't bring back in Flaherty. We don't go where we went without Flaherty. Without Jack, without that trade, we don't end up with the best record in baseball. We may not even make the playoffs with how we lost all our arms. So the Jack Flahertys, the Teos, the Kike Hernandezes, right? The Gavin Luxes, all of these guys who Kiermaier came in and had a great series against St. Louis. You guys remember that series on the road? And all of these guys contributed in major ways that helped the Dodgers win regular season baseball games, to win the National League West, eventually get separation, to end up with the best record in Major League Baseball, which ended up with home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and they won a World Series. So the Dodgers, all these little things contributing. I know it's Shohei, Mookie, Freddie. Like, we know we had Glasnow, Yamamoto. We had guys that were our front end guys, our superstar guys. And when those guys were out, Mookie missed a lot of time. Freddie had a weird year, right? Shohei didn't pitch. It was obviously dealing with that. And then our rotation in shambles. You make that trade for Flaherty. You make that trade for Kopech. You make that trade for Edman. Every one of these guys contributed. Every single one. So they do their part. They do their role. And the Dodgers have ways of finding guys just like that everywhere. They'll pull someone out the blue this offseason. Watch. Watch Conforto come in and jack 25 home runs this year. Just watch. I mean, I could be dead wrong, and maybe I am, but it just would be the total Dodger way if they stole a guy who comes in and jacks 25 home runs and they still bring back Teo. Incredible, man. It's just incredible. Randy says, I'm not sure the Brew Crew wanted Williams to go to an NL team, especially the Dodgers. I feel you on that. I think that's a real thing. It's why I kept saying I did not anticipate the trash trolls sending Kyle Tucker to the Yankees unless it was just a last resort. Now maybe he ends up there anyways as a free agent there, the Mets or whoever. Me and Joe were talking about that earlier. Shout out to Joe. He's probably in here yelling at someone somewhere, telling someone to get off his lawn somewhere in here. Sorry, his turf. Get off his turf. He doesn't have a lawn. His turf. Turf talk. Turf guy. Damn it, making fun of Joe made me lose my place. I think there was something to that, and maybe they didn't want to do that. And that's fair. But at the reality, try not to say at the end of the day. I saw that. In reality, they owe it to themselves to do the best deal, and the Dodgers could top the deal that the Yankees offered. So I think if the Dodgers really went heavy, I still think they make that move. I still think they do it. They were willing to, if the Dodgers ponied up, they could have got Adames last year. They could have got Burns. The Dodgers just didn't pay what it cost. And here's the thing, like, they did not have to trade him or move him. Like, they didn't move Adames. in his final year of arbitration. They played it out and let him walk because they were, I don't know if I want to say in contention, but they were in the playoff picture all season. They were leading their division. So they didn't want to just throw it away, right? They were playing for something. They wanted to make that playoff money, make some extra money. Ended up going out in the wild card round to the OMG Mets because of the polar bear with that crazy home run in Milwaukee. But they felt they were playing for something and didn't do it. So now you've lost Adames, you lost Corbin Burns, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna lose this guy for nothing too. We lost Adames for nothing. Probably don't want to do that. So they moved them, and you're right. They probably in their heart of hearts did not want to move him to the NL or to the Dodgers. But I feel if the Dodgers offered up a better deal, they probably would have had to have taken that. What's going on, Aaron? Teoscar is ours. I believe so. There he is. Well. Blue Man Group performing at the pad tonight, EJ. Yeah, try something different, man. I got these lights to do all kinds of stuff, right? So, Joe still has like those old 1987 bulbs. So, he only has one color. So yeah, throw this on. It was like, cool, easier on the eyes, man. I don't wear these bright lights over my head with this bright light in front of my face. But yeah, I'm kind of digging this. Y'all like this? I don't got the headphones on today either because Lucky was a terrorist. But I kind of like this. It's kind of different. I might do this when I do Lakers. Maybe put the purple color up here or something. Happy holidays to you as well, Pablo. Happy holidays to all of you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I was thankful for you guys when I did the Thanksgiving video. I wanted to shout all you guys out and thank you guys for that. But happy holidays to you guys and your families. We spend a lot of time here together, so we're our own little community, our own little sports family here. And I greatly, greatly appreciate all you guys. So happy holidays to you, Pablo, and everyone else in here as well. La Ox is here. La Ox. Closer to Dodgers season. It just ended. I know, but we're getting closer. The further we get from the end, the closer we get to the beginning. And pitchers and catchers report in February, man. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Each day that gets by, I am excited. Ozzy says Dodgers will get $500 million to Guerrero next year to play third base. Oh my God. Imagine Vladdy out here. Oh man. So you already took Shohei. Now imagine you get Vladdy's son to come to LA. Oh man. But I don't think that's going to happen, though. Yeah, Joe says no way. I don't think that's going to happen. Chris says CT3 is always welcome in LA. Yeah, CT3 is a Dodger for life. As far as like he's welcome here. The city owes him. The city respects him. The city loves him. I get why some people are frustrated with him still on this roster. I totally get it. I understand it. The human element doesn't always line up with the business element or what should be done versus what feels like you should do. My thing is more about paying homage. Paying homage to what he's done for this team and gave us some good baseball for a while. There's going to come a point where all these guys are gone off the team, all of them, including Chris Taylor, right? So it's sooner rather than later for him. There goes BC. What's going on, Roy? What's going on, sir? Appreciate you for tuning in as always. Everyone saying hi to each other. Let me mind my business. BC says, agree, 100. Let him walk if he won't take less than market value like Mookie Freddie did. Good riddance. I mean, I don't want to go harsh with it. I don't want to make it seem like you better take less or get out of here. Like, I don't want to go that route. God, I sounded like Joe there. I don't want to go that route. I do want them to work with him and him to work with them. I do want him to stay. And I think it's just a feel-good story, right? Not on top of just the talent, but on top of the mentality of things, the heartstrings of things. The city really loves Teo. The city truly loves Teo. He could probably run for something in the city and win. Like, he is that loved out here. You got to understand, when I'm like, I'm creating content on IG and TikTok, and I'm talking Juan Soto because it's a story and it's a legitimate thing. It's one of the biggest free agency chases in Major League history. And the Dodgers were linked to it. I don't think anyone really in their heart of hearts felt that we were going to get him, but they were linked to him. So I'm covering it, and just a backlash. I did a video on this saying, like, what's with the made up and false narratives about Soto? Everyone hates him, and they hated him because they just love Teo so much. And just the thought of adding Soto but losing Teo, people couldn't compute it. And he is that loved out here. But anyways, while I'm doing all that content, it's just nonstop Teo. I've been cursed out. I've been yelled, all kinds of stuff. Anything that I mentioned, hey, he's interested in Boston, I get clapped at, right? Yankees maybe, I don't know, people go nuts. But I want Teo back. I don't know how much more clear I can be about it. But he has to back up what he said. He got on that stage and told everyone he wants to come back, doesn't want to go anywhere. Well, you know there's going to be some sacrifices in that, Teo. And if you got up there with the trophy on your system, you were emotional. If you didn't mean that, you didn't mean that. But LA thinks you meant that. And that's why they're so in love with you, is because we think you're in love with us. If you're not, tell us, right? If you don't feel that same way, like, hey, a lot of these Dodger fans were getting on Soto saying, oh, he's just going to the highest bidder. What does it say if Teo does the same thing, y'all? I'm just saying. BC says he's not half the player they are. He's not. They could have gone to the Mets or Yankees too. Mm-hmm. While the AL as a DH, he can do that anywhere. I'm just saying because some of the parks, right? If his power dips a little bit, if he has some issues, I think an AL team would probably be more interested. Obviously, I know there's DH in the NL now too, but I just think for those type of ballparks and like the type of game that the AL plays a little bit different than the NL. What's going on, Samuel? Greetings. I'm from Tijuana. Come on, Dodgers, bring back Teoscar, and why not Scott would be a great shot in our bullpen. Puro Tijuana. Shout out to you guys. I don't got my headphones. I can't hear the air horn. Hold on. There we go. Appreciate y'all, man. We got TJ in the house, man. You get some good tacos tonight. Stay away from some late night spots, man. But appreciate you. Appreciate you for tuning in from TJ, my guy. Who else we got here? We got Mexico in the building tonight. That's what's up. What's going on, Pale? She's Grichuk is the most realistic and logical choice because he meets all the requirements. Send all the requirements. I'm sure you got more coming. Let's hear why. Roy says Tanner Scott is the way to go. It only costs dollars and no trade chips. Yankees gave up a lot for 1 year rental. Alonso says bad trade. If they keep him, it's not a bad trade. We'll see what he wants. You know, if he comes in there and he's dominant, like I said, that airbender gets to the Bronx and just goes berserk, then we'll see what it is. I think the Yankees, you know, I think Hal it caught a little heat, you know, acting like he doesn't spend. He does. He lost out on Soto, but he paid Judge. He traded for Stanton. He paid Cole. He pays guys. If Williams goes out there and delivers, I don't see why he wouldn't pay him. Though he may be one of the finest practical possibilities, Ward is not the best choice overall. You said Ward is not the best choice overall? Right. It was a total team effort for our 2024 championship. Right. Suzuki could be able to surpass Hernandez in terms of quality. He could, absolutely. But again, I think what they're roped up in here is another thing me and Joe were talking about earlier is just the fan thing, right? I don't believe that the Dodgers will sit back worried too much about how the fans are going to react. I think they're going to operate accordingly. But I think that they would like to make the fans happy if they could, but they're not going to do a deal just to make them happy, if that makes sense, right? So I think Teo, and I said, like, if this goes wrong, it feels like the Teo can never be the bad guy in the situation, but you're hearing some of this stuff start to come out to counter that because they don't want Teo to have all the equity in these negotiations. So like, look, we don't want our fans thinking that we don't want to keep you. We don't want these fans thinking that you were on stage saying how much you love us and them and we forced you out. No. Hold up. No. We want you to be here. We want you. You don't want to play the game. You don't want to be part of the team that does the deferrals. Aha. You don't want to do that. So if you don't want to do that, we're going to make sure this isn't on us. And I think that's wise to do. Joe, I laughing. Turf guy. Cubs got better with Tucker. They did. To see if they pay him, right? He's going to command a lot of money, probably north of $400 million. And let's see how he does next year. He's a very underrated ball player for a casual fan sake, right? Very, very good ball player. And Cubs got themselves a good one. They gave up to get, but you know, their fans were a little tight about it because, you know, they don't trust them to keep him. But we'll see. Like I said, Mets, Yankees, Red Sox. I don't believe the Dodgers would be in play for him, but you know, does this turn into a situation where halfway through the season when they know there's no, you know, they're not playing for anything. They're not in playoff contention. They haven't signed him to an extension, nor are there any assurances that they will. Maybe they move him again. And to get back that that prospect capital that they sent out there. Joe has turf though. That's hilarious. Joe has turf everything. Suzuki defense is similar to Soto and Teo. Touch grass. Touch turf. Touch turf. Oh man. Let's see. Randy says, if we sign Teo and Tanner Scott, the Dodgers will be looking to reduce as much of the payroll as possible, since they're allowed will be taxed 110%, since way over the third threshold. Well, that's what I was trying to tell you. Maybe if they sign Tanner Scott for between 15 to 16 million a year, then it becomes more possible that maybe they move that CT3 money, or maybe they move a trade where they bring back less money. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But I don't think the Dodgers are too worried about the tax this year. Like I said, all that money for Shohei's deferrals, that's what he did it for. And then the amount of profit that they're making on top of that, and plus the interest on the money they're putting aside for Ohtani, it's just going to eat through that tax. So I don't think they're going to be too worried about that, to be honest. Roy says Dodgers spring training starts February 20th, 220. Yes, sir. BC says DFA Taylor. They're not going to do that. Waste of a roster spot. Here he comes. What's going on, Young? Dodgers need to sign Teo and Tanner. I think they're trying. Yeah, he's with us, man. I like that's what I'm saying. He is with us. He's with us. He's part of us, man. He's part of us. He's part of our fabric. He's part of what we do. What's going on, Mark? Mark Davis Hooker. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Make him a coach. I think Austin Barnes may become a coach one day. I don't know about CT3. I mean, he has, the tools to probably be a good one, but we'll wait to see on that. Give that one to one of the 27-year-old prospects that are probably going to get traded anyways. MP, what's going on, MP? Agreed. So over Teo suddenly became greedy. MP, I don't know if he's greedy. Maybe he is, but I don't know if he's greedy as much as just trying to get that last bit of security, right? We'll see where this ends up. There's no problem with negotiating. You're worth what someone will pay you. And if his representative feels he can get a little bit more and this is potentially his last deal, I understand it. My thing is, when you got up there on that stage and sold the fan base on you wanting to be here, the Dodgers presenting you with an opportunity to do so, making you a top priority, and then you all of a sudden don't want to get with the program. Deferrals, right? That's what got you over here last year. Career year. Being a Dodger puts you in position to get this bag you're about to get. Obviously, you did the work. You put in the work. You were the player. You were outstanding. But outside of that, being a Dodger, that felt something, right? That was different. It was different. You really want to walk away from that over money? Especially if it's not too far apart? I'm knowing to count another person's money. And it kind of sounds like I'm doing that right now, but I'm not. The reason I'm saying it, because you know how the Dodgers do business. You knew you guys did not work out an extension. It's because the whole time he wasn't going to commit to one, and they weren't heavily aggressively pursuing one. They wanted to wait to see how we did in the playoffs, and he wanted to wait to see what type of long-term offers he can get from other teams to bring that back to the Dodgers to get more money, right? That's the name of the game. That's not just Teo. Every player does that. Everyone does. So there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, when you were up there saying all that, you got to back that up. Do whatever it takes to come back. Taking a deferral is doing whatever it takes to come back, Teo. That just is what it is. And unfortunately, as much as I love Teo and I want him back, the Dodgers have a way of doing things. Their stars took the deferrals. Other role players took deferrals. So I don't think they want to set the precedent of not doing it and then have other guys saying, well, okay, I'm going to come, but I don't want no deferrals either. That's how the Dodgers do things. And if you want to be part of this special team and special situation, you're probably going to have to take some type of deferral. Some type. Rams won, Lakers lost. Lakers losing seems to just be like breathing. It's just CT3 MVP. Nah, we're not saying that. Just resigned Teoscar. I remember when people wanted to bench Freddie for Taylor in the World Series. Man. World Series or waiting to see that give his ankle some more rest? Because game one he hit the grand slam. I don't think anyone wanted to bench. I think people were worried about if Freddie could play But man, God, the more I think about it, and the more I watch these games, and the more I see the surgeries he had, and the more I see what he was going through on and off the field with his own body and people in his family's body, like, man, Freddie Freeman is a saint. Freddie Freeman is a saint. God bless him, man. What he went through, my God. Shout out to the Freeman family, man. Some people don't get sports or math. I'm good at both. Percentages that Tanner ends up in LA. LOL. Everyone getting my hyped up, but might cost too much, like Hater did last year. The difference with Hater is with Hater, it was a thing of the years. Whoever went to that to get him close to that $100 million mark, he wanted to get the AAV higher than Diaz, and he wanted to approach 100 mil. Tanner Scott isn't trying to do that. So I think the Dodgers could be in on that. And the Dodgers were very much in on Hader. It wasn't until Houston came in and offered that 5th year that they got him. So I think I think like Tanner Scott is a guy that the Dodgers would feel comfortable doing a 4-ish year deal, 15, 16 million. Hader was one of those situations where it was going to have to fall in their lap. They weren't like had to have him. Like he's top of our list. This is a fall on our lap situation was Hader. I don't see Tanner Scott as being a fall in the lap situation. This is a guy they want to get, that they're strongly pursuing. Little bit different than the Hader situation, but I get you. So my percentage, I'm trying to find his market right now. Trying to see who's out there that would go after him. And with the Yankees making that move today, that's a major one off the board. I think the Yankees are off the board for Teo and Scott now. So with that being said, that increases the Dodgers' chances for both. So if I had to put a percentage on Tanner Scott, I am 80-20 Teo. I'm 80-20 Teo. I am 55-45 Tanner Scott. 55-45. So I have them getting him. But I also leave enough room there, a good size that he can go somewhere else. Right now, 55-45 Tanner and 80-20 Teo. And I would say 90-10 Roki. That's where I'm at with all those three right now. Teo and Burns prices will go up. Burns, I think price is what it is, and people just aren't meeting it yet. Teo, I'm not sure it's going to go up from where it is now. Daniel Barry, 3 months membership. Shout out to you, Mr. Daniel Barry, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to all the members. Once again, you can become a member by tapping that link or clicking that join button to become a member. Make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. 80 people in the building right now. 80 people. Only 28 likes. Come on, Ron, help me out, man.
Acknowledge me, please.
Come on, we can't have that, man. Acknowledge me, man. 28 likes with 80 people in the building. Come on, y'all. Tap that like. It's free. If you're on your phone, tap the back button, right? Hit the thumbs up. You can come back to the chat. If you're on your computer, just tap that thumbs up. Help your boy out, man. 80 people in the building, 29 likes. Nah, come on, y'all. Come on. Help it out. Sasaki. AL is also incredibly wide open right now. In fact, it is, no doubt. Let's see, Daniel, Teo, Roki, and Scott would be the end game for the league next year. Oh my God, Joe, it'd be borderline unfair. I was telling you that earlier, Joe. That would feel like unfair, but I don't care. We don't care what people say. We make it happen. Make it happen. Give us all of it. Because look, I think what people got to realize here, the Mets are going to spend dummy money. They're going in on it now. So where the Dodgers are with getting Shohei and his deferrals and them, there's an understanding that they're going to spend now because of that. The Mets are now in that same pattern where they're just going to start spending, right? The Yankees having lost Soto, and the world knows what they were willing to pay to keep him annually, right? $47 million a year they were willing to spend on him. So now they have to allocate those $47 million, plus they probably would have spent another 20 on top of that. So you're looking 67 to 70 million this offseason for this year was pretty much earmarked if they kept Soto. The public knows that. So now they have to go crazy here, right? So the The Dodgers, with that being said, have to continue to go all in, have to continue to spend. And so you got the Padres having to stay below the competitive balance tax, right? They're going to probably have to put up, like I said, Cease, Arise. Like you got guys that are probably going to be traded out of there because they just don't have the money. They're not going to be able to extend Cease. They're not going to be able to sign him in the offseason. He's probably out of there. Profar probably is not coming back. And then you got Arise who you're not going to be able to extend. He's probably out of there. Michael King is in his last year of arbitration. He may have to be out of there. Bogarts are trying to move, but that salary is, that's going to be tough to move. And that Manny money, Tatis money, I think is going to be fine, but that Manny money is going to be problematic. That Yu Darvish money is going to be problematic. All of it. Speaking of problematic, my wife likes to walk in the room. Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice. So you got opportunities here. In a normal world with a contender like the Padres with a player like Tanner Scott, they probably don't lose him. He probably runs it back. They pay him, but because they can't, it's now in play. So it's kind of a fall in the lap situation, but it's really not. Not like Josh Hader was. Ironically, it was the same team, but a little different. A little different. Unless the Yanks get some bats, right? Roki in LA. What's going on, Hezbollah? Just announced Roki to Angels already, bro. That would be crazy. Angels have a better chance at getting Jesus to come down and save them than Roki going to the Angels. Hezbollah drunk. Young says Yankees must minus Soto plus Fried and Williams is an upgrade from last season, and they're not done yet. Yeah, they're not done yet. They still got more to do. Yankees losing Soto is a massive hole for them in the hitting department. It may cost them a return trip. Yeah. Well, when you think about how Judge was in the playoffs, I think their regular season can sustain it. But we'll see come playoff time because Judge absolutely disappeared. But also, the thing to keep your eye on with the Yankees. I don't know what's going on. I keep clearing my throat here. I apologize. The Yankees only have one more year of paying Stanton his big money, and then they're only $5 million a year after that, and Miami's fitting the bill. So that's going to be worked into their spending as well. So they have a chance to go after, someone crazy. I know Vladdy said he would never go to the Yankees, but we'll see if that tone changes. But the Yankees, I believe, call me crazy, but even I know Cohen's got all that money. But we've seen teams who got all that money. It doesn't necessarily translate into winning. It doesn't necessarily mean that. So we'll see. We'll see how that fans out, man. CT3 is a coach. He doesn't even talk. He talks to his players. Taylor hitting coach. Who wouldn't want the lineup full of Taylors? Taylor is a gamer. He just sucks. Yeah, man. It sucks to see him go out like that, though. What's going on, Rand? Everyone except Shohei, who I truly believe that he doesn't care about the money and only just wants to play baseball and win. I don't necessarily think that. They got their money. Obviously, Freddie walked away from Atlanta over money. Mookie left Boston because they didn't want to pay him $30 a year, essentially. But I think knowing their worth is different than only caring about money. Like when you saw Freddie out there playing with a broken rib, a broken finger, basically a broken ankle. He's not thinking about money out there. He's not thinking about money. We got warriors and we got champions. Every team has guys who purely think of money. And it's not like they don't think of that during the offseason when they're getting their money. But once they got that bag, I don't think Freddie was thinking about money for a second out there with all those injuries, all those broken bones. The issue with his son. I think money was the last thing on his mind. His family and winning was what were on his mind. And absolutely, it is a business. Just like our job, you want to make more money. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm never for telling someone to purposely take less money, right? But it's a little different, if you're in a team game and a team sport and you're making the money that they make and you got chances to make other money elsewhere, and you're in this to also win, then it's a little bit different, especially when everyone else is making the sacrifice on your team. Satana's got 14. I don't know if they get him for 14, BC. Maybe payroll money, with deferrals and stuff. Maybe it'll be $12, $13 million as far as the actual tax. But I think he gets to between 15 to 16.5 million a year. Won't even get my hopes up on Tanner Scott. Dodgers will want to pay him, and he will sign elsewhere. He might. He might. Tanner Scott, 4 years, 60 million. I think that's the floor. I think that's the floor. I think that's where you enter the chat. You enter the chat at 460. 4 years, 60 million. You enter the chat. I think. I would love it if it was less than that, or if that's the ceiling. I would love that, but I think that's the floor. I think that's the floor. I heard Phillies are all in on Tanner Scott. Phillies are always in on someone, and then they don't. Right? We'll see what the Phillies do. I thought the Phillies were going to be going strongly after Hader last year, and they backed out. They didn't really show much interest in him. And I do believe the Philly, that's a tough matchup for us. Like, we don't play them well. So yeah, I agree with that. Tanner, 15 for 4 years. That will be the same contract as CT3 a few years back. Yeah, but it's a little different. A high leverage reliever like him. Oh my God. Give Teo 3 years, 60 mil, total lump sum. I think he's going to get more than that. I think he's worth more than that. I would like them to focus on Tanner Scott and Kike. Forget Teo. They are the Dodgers. Shouldn't beg anyone to sign with them. Sorry, not sorry. I don't think they're begging. And I do agree. I would love to have those other guys back that you mentioned. I don't believe they're begging Teo. These are negotiations, guys. Negotiations, it's all in the game. It's all in the game. So it comes with it. But I think he will be back. What's up, Christopher? Was there a signing? No signing today for the Dodgers. We had Kyle Tucker traded today. We've had some movement in other areas of baseball. No signing for the Dodgers as of right now. I'm going back and forth between Twitter because I had a strong feeling that deal was going to be done today. I did. Didn't happen. So we will see. Wait to see if this happens tomorrow and I was a day late, or if this goes a few more days or into next week. But no signing as of yet. Today we're talking about, how Teo and the Dodgers kind of need each other, and how they work so well with each other, and why I think he will be back because of that. And obviously the news of Tanner Scott and the Dodgers being locked in on him. I think Kike returns. I think Teo returns. Like I said, I'm about 55-45 Tanner Scott. I don't know where I am on Walker Buehler because I don't know if you guys listened to the last show. But I was talking to someone earlier in the week, and they basically put it out there that they've talked to him about a closer role. And that's very interesting because of what he did in the World Series. And if they don't get Tanner Scott, I said if they didn't get Williams or Tanner, they didn't get Williams, he went to the Yankees. If they don't get Tanner Scott and they were willing to give 15 million, 15, 16 to him, maybe that opens the door at Walker Buehler to return in a closer role. That would be insane, right? That would be crazy. Get short bursts, come out there like that. Oh man, I think there might be something there. Just saying, I think there might be something there. Randy says Teo needs 3 more years in order to be fully vested in the MLB retirement, so he'll want to sign for 3 years to satisfy that requirement. That is an excellent point. And I'm fine with 3 years. I'm fine with 3 years. I never loved 4, and it was good news yesterday when we heard that it doesn't seem like that's the holdup, that no team is really going after 4 years. But again, I'm with what Taylor's trying to do. 3 years, north of 20. I'm on board with that. I think the Dodgers are. I think the Dodgers just want some deferrals in this. Fellow Dodger dogs, D-Mac, Clint Pasillas, and Dodgers territory. Yeah, I love all those guys. Those are all great guys, all great shows. Where's your son? I don't know what you meant by that, but if you're shouting out all those guys, they're all great. And it's a goal of mine to work with all those guys too. They're incredible, man. Appreciate you, Mark. If you subbed up, appreciate you. Soto was their best hitter in the World Series by far. And just the way he got on base, man. Just the way he got on base. The walks, his on base percentage. And when they did pitch to him, he clocked it, got it out of there. He has been the Dodgers weren't even considering throwing anything in near or at the zone with him. Like nothing. They wanted nothing to do with the Soto business. You could tell. They're like, someone else is gonna have to beat us. Judge isn't hitting. Stanton has had some moments, but we can strike him out, multiple times. They did not want anything to do with him whatsoever. Chris Taylor will always be welcome in LA after his single to tie it in the 12th in Houston during Game 5 and the walk-off homer against St. Louis, that catch in Milwaukee. He's done so much for us, man. And yeah, there you go, man. That Milwaukee catch, man, was incredible. Yep, the 2021 walk-off. Just if you face the Yanks again without Soto, they don't scare me. They didn't scare me this year. Like at all. I never thought for half a second that we were losing the World Series. I never did. Now I can't lie. I had us winning in 5. But when it was going down and everything was happening, I'm like, oh man, this is probably coming back to LA. I did not predict them coming back from 5-0. Can't lie about that. But once things started to fall apart and they got a little shaky, then it was like, oh, we're gonna win this. I think we're gonna win this. Pablo says Teo has a 3 on his jersey, 3 years. That's dope. Honestly, yeah, it's just a name. Send him to Boston where y'all get the best value on his name. We should send him to Boston. Sign that man. I'm rocking the same hat tonight, Jeff. Hey, yeah, man, with the World Series victory patch, man. I had to wear it because I'm wearing the the championship hoodie. So I had another hat on. I'm like, wait a minute, I got to get the patch to go with this one, man. Walker's a starter. I know he's a starter. I get it. But what I'm saying is I heard that they talked about it. And it may be a way to extend his career and maybe a way that he may have some interest in that, the way he went in and did it. Padres haven't done a thing. No, and they're going to have to actually let guys leave and trade people. All you knowledgeable baseball fans know that Pete Rose was a singles hitter. Yep. Pete Rose was the man. What are the plans for Outman? I don't think there's a trade suitors. And what about rushing? His numbers are too good for AAA. I think someone will take a chance on Outman. I think someone will. The guy is still very good defensively. And if someone thinks that they can unlock some things or give him another chance, but there's guys out there that's going to need someone who can patrol center field. I think someone would want him if the Dodgers wanted to make a move. Mad Bum's done for San Francisco. They cut him loose because that's smart business. It took them a while to do it, though. They did the same thing with Lincecum. And he wasn't that old. I hear you. Teo, 3 years, $75 million. That would basically be the same as 4 years, $100 million, including the 2024 Dodgers contract. I think he got 23.5 last year. So if you want to raise on that slightly much, yeah. Bogart's back to Boston. That would be crazy. Why is Grove still on the team? He's trash. I mean, sometimes teams still believe in guys. And when that happens, sometimes you wait it out. Look, the Dodgers believe in guys longer than most teams do. If that wasn't the case, Walker Buehler would never had a chance to do what he did in Game 5. Never would have had a chance to do what he did against the Mets. And then what he did against the Yankees as a starter, as a closer, and then, like I said, what he did against the Mets as a starter. Had the Dodgers given up on him, and you guys remember, there was that point where I was sitting there in that Baltimore game. I'm like, yo, this might be his last start as a Dodger. Him and Miller, both. Bobby Miller, man, I'm disappointed because I had such high hopes for that kid. I still think that maybe he can get it together because he's got filthy stuff. He was my favorite prospect since Julio. And man, he just has it. I think the Dodgers are still going to try to get him back on track. But like I said, the Dodgers don't give up on people as fast as other teams, and it's paid off for them. And Grove is cheap. That's why. Unlike Taylor. Yeah, Taylor's not cheap. Trade Grove, Miller, CT3, Outman. Like, just get rid of all these guys. We want them gone. But yeah. Speaking of gone, on that note, I'm going to shut it down for the night, guys. Came up here for an hour, but you guys, I'll do my best to be back tomorrow. And yeah. Good stream. Hopefully we get some news on Teo tomorrow. Maybe some Tanner. It'd be great. We get Teo, Tanner, Kike, or we just get a run of things. Like, it's like maybe the true domino effect wasn't Soto. Maybe it's once Teo does and a bunch of other things happen. Maybe a bunch of other things happen after that. And that would be great. But on that note, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you here with me. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter X as well. I see y'all rocking heavy. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. We got 38 likes on the video. Please tap that like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great Saturday. And hopefully we get some news tomorrow, man. Appreciate y'all. Stay safe. I'm out of here. Peace.